I think there's lots of movement in the life of prayer. Sometimes we feel very close to God. We have a very tangible, real experience of God in our prayer. Sometimes it's full of consolation and warmth, and we derive great benefit from it. And then other seasons of our life in prayer are very dry, and we feel we experience God as distant, and we feel like we're floundering in the spiritual life, and sometimes a real absence of consolation may come with that. Those seasons are just part of the spiritual the movement of the spiritual life, and even the greatest saints and mystics talk about that kind of fluctuation in their lives. So we shouldn't expect that it won't be there for us. Some way in which, having tasted something in prayer, having experienced something in prayer, you develop a thirst for that. But I also think that, like when I came to the monastery, I think I was full of good intentions about how prayerful I was going to be, and found that some days I didn't feel like praying as much as I thought I would feel like praying. And sometimes that's still a challenge, in days where I just don't feel like praying, and I'm not. And so in those days you just kind of show up, but there's still, I still cherish silence and opportunities to pray. Sometimes there's an obvious block in the relationship. There's maybe an unaddressed issue in their life that they know that if they go to their prayer corner, they're going to have to face this issue if they're going to really be honest with God, and they don't want to do it. So sometimes we can uncover an obstacle that might be interfering with our sense of communion with God. But sometimes it's just a dry patch, and I would say the first important thing is just to persevere and just keep showing up, keep trying, and just think of this as a cloud passing in front of the sun, and eventually the sun will return. And just stay faithful to your discipline, and come and pray as best you can on that day, and just be honest with God. Say, I'm not really feeling like being here. I don't feel like I'm getting much out of prayer these days, but I'm here because I want to be in relationship.